Systems check proceeding as follows. Ceiling 300 Alpha and all systems are go.
Bones are amazing things. They hold us up. They support us. They make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear.
Somebody out there.
We don't know where we are, but we hear you.
Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
Welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater. My name is Jeff, and normally I play Kumu for this brand new campaign of Wayfinders, Age of Kama.
And this is Jeremy, normally playing Solgrin of Ash.
I'm Ellie, and I normally play Kolohe.
This is Johnny, and I played Trum, Likey, Flu.
And I'm Jordan, and I am the Game Master, playing Destroyed Dump Truck number 1.
I mean, there's going to be more destroyed dump trucks.
There's going to be lots of destroyed things if Solgrin keeps firing his gun.
I gotta see the stats on that gun.
Hey, it's 7D. It's a blaster rifle.
Blaster rifle? Really?
Yeah. I dropped a fate point on the damage, so...
Yeah. That's a big part of why it was as good as it was.
Yeah. Spin it if you got it. Especially when you're at the end of a session.
Welcome to the Age of Kama. Hope you are enjoying your stay so far.
Vireo didn't.
Vireo's vacation did not turn out like he thought it would, I would imagine.
I don't think so.
The inspiration for that was that we tried to get together and to record, and I was talking with Aaron last week, and I said, oh yeah, what do you have going on? And he told me how he and his wife were getting ready to take a trip up to Maine, and they were leaving today. And I'm like, but, and he's like, am I forgetting something? And I said, yeah, we're supposed to record. And he looked at his phone. He's like, I don't have that on the calendar. Then he goes into our group chat and he goes through it and he's like, but I agreed to do it. So at first I was like, okay, well, we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll just do a one shot, kind of push it back a little bit more. And then I was like, no, we will not push it back any further. And so we just started, and I'm like, well, he's going on vacation. Why doesn't his character go on vacation too?
Nice.
And things got dicey.
I think it worked out very well as a driving point for the start of the campaign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, we knew each other, but this is like, all right, things are serious for us out the gate.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one thing that helped out was that we did have a lot of character development before this point in the story. Right. Yeah, so, like, definitely. I was really appreciative of how much work we had put into it so that we could just turn it on and it feels like these characters know each other for a really long time. Obviously, like, because it's been a while since we've roleplayed together, we had to get back into the swing of things. But I thought that
by the end of the first episode, we were tapping our toes the right direction.
Did you guys like starting off with a skills challenge just to try and feel the characters a little bit more?
That was a little tough, especially the nature of the skills challenge.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere and kind of threw us all off guard.
Well, not only that, it was solving a problem that Solgrin had no clue how to solve.
Yeah.
And especially with not all of the information, Solgrin was like, well, let me know when I can do something.
Yeah. Which I did.
Yeah.
I managed to give you something to do.
Yeah. Which was pointless in the end, but...
Yes, but...
But the point is for the fiction to just have a success.
Mm-hmm.
And it made logical sense to prepare a space to evacuate the people.
Yeah.
I think it also did a good job at showing the disparity between Kumu and Kolohe, but then later on, once we had a common goal and a very strong driving common goal.
It's almost like we're better together.
Stronger together!
It showed that we are actually siblings and will work together for something that we need done in our lives.
For the greater good.
For the greater good. For the greater good.
I was really kind of pleased with how it turned out. We got to introduce a new shadowy organization, obviously. And it was really fun digging into the microscope stuff to see what I could come up with and kind of tweak a little bit. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
So I'll have to admit, halfway through the second episode, like, we as players are so focused in on details, especially with how we do the world build. We're like, all right, there's this detail. What does that mean? There's this detail. What does that mean? There's something that Jordan said where I was like, ooh, that's a little nugget of something. Let me see what I can... I'm not Julian.
Yeah.
Solgrin would not take note of that at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the glory of it. And actually, so this is something that's going to come back and bite you all in the butt because Aaron is our note taker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even character-wise, none of our characters are investigators.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're just doing our best with...
Yeah, we're kind of like a group, like, crabbing at the dark.
I'm going with the whole idea, like, you know, we're a crew on a ship, like on a TV show, you know? Standard starship crews don't have an investigator.
Yeah.
Nope. The best they can do is canvas.
I immediately went to
That's part of
Tuvok.
the- yeah.
And I was like, man, he was a great investigator.
True.
But, you know, that's
Tuvok was...
out of how many Star Treks?
That's true. Yeah. I think that was Vulcans in general, because when you go to Star Trek 6, the Vulcan that was in Star Trek 6 that ended up being the investigator for the trial was the same way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're very thorough.
That's Vulcan trait is very thorough. But again, none of us have any kind of character remotely like that at all.
No.
We're all very emotional in one way or another.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun to see those emotions, like, kind of feed off of each other to a certain degree.
They like conflict and then support each other.
Solgrin's species is all based on emotion.
Yeah.
I want to just take a note. This is my second campaign that I'm starting with this group. And
This is your first...
starting.
This is your first pilot episode.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, having this second chance to get into things with these guys, it really makes it clear from my interactions. I know you guys probably already know this, but just how well we all work. Like, we just work well together.
It amazes us all the time.
Like, it really was so easy for us, and we just... all our characters, half the time I was like, how am I going to connect with Solgrin? How am I going to connect with this guy? And then he'll like be like, come on, little one, let's go. And I'm like, yes, I will go follow you to the ends of the earth. Like, and then just having that like connection, like in the beginning I was like, oh yeah, I'm like fighting with my brother. I'm like a sassy little sarcastic jerk. At the end of it, we're like you said, we have this it's just, we work so well, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Don't worry, we'll get back to the awkwardness, the sassy sniping.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I appreciate how you really stretched a lot in terms of the type of character that you were going to play. Because Archie was just as emotional of a character as Kolohe, but Archie was very much, to me, like very, I gotta find my place in this world. Place in this world.
I knew it.
Yep, I heard it too.
But I think Kolohe knows what she wants, and she goes for it. And the best part about it is she's a brat. Like, she is that definition of brat. And it's really interesting to see you play a character, because I felt like Archie was not that kind of character. He was very much driven by helping other people, whereas Kolohe is like, how can I use other people? And
Yeah.
and that's a very interesting dynamic to switch to.
True.
After several years of playing a very selfless character who sometimes had some character flaws. This one, I think Kolohe wears her flaws more on her sleeve than Archie did. And I think that's interesting to see at this point. Especially to see the flexibility in you.
I appreciate that, because I'll be really open with you guys. I always tried to play a character like Archie. Every game that I played with others, it was something that was the opposite of me in every single way. In reality, when I grew up, I was very much like Kolohe. I was very self-absorbed, especially with my brother. And I was daddy's little girl. So I kind of drew from that. And I think I always tried to go as far away from me as possible. So it was very interesting how easily this came to me. So, and I never ever played a woman, ever.
I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a huge step for me. Thank you for bringing that up.
I like how, honestly, most of us have picked a character that is a stretch, is a challenge.
Yeah.
What we haven't done. Like, speak to it right now. Johnny, I love your role-playing
The high
Trum.
emotional level.
Yeah.
Because, like, your last character was so emotionally repressed.
Yes.
And the fact that you've turned it around and you're doing something completely different is a really good show of range.
That's one particular reason I built this character the way I did, is it's going to be a challenge for me to be as chipper and happy all the time. Because me, like, as a person, I'm not a negative person.
You're a pretty glass is half empty kind of guy.
I'm over a glass is a glass kind of guy.
And just think it to the two long-standing characters of Edric Farthings and then Chime North.
Yeah.
I say long-standing because Joris, you kind of can't count as a long-standing because it came in like halfway through like the first season.
Mid-first season.
But, I mean, those two, Chime and Edric Farthings, are very similar.
Oh, yeah, they are.
In how they were.
I'm set in my ways. I'm terrified of what's going on.
Set in your ways, terrified, and if there's an opportunity, I'm going to take the back seat.
Yeah.
Whereas Trum is a lot more outgoing.
Yes, Trum is outgoing. He's ambitious. He's, like you said, he's not a coward by any means of the imagination. He's not a fighter because he's such a frail person.
Trum actually has the potential of being the emotional glue of the group in certain regards.
Yeah.
That's part of why I went ahead and just jumped straight off the balcony like that. You know?
Yeah.
To show that he's not afraid.
And Sigma 9 was a fun world to create because it's like...
Yeah, it's almost like this like resort world.
Yeah.
That was in the back of my mind as like a good location for a vacation. And then I also wanted to try and do something that an avian would enjoy. And I'm like, oh, long flights through really pretty countryside.
Especially since there are so many avian species that have lost the ability of flight.
Yes. So that was a lot of fun.
I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked when Finch was a human. I was like,
yeah,
a human?
Yeah. What? I think we all were a little bit like, oh.
I saw you actually do that.
In the back of my mind, before Finch went all red-faced and crazy, I almost thought of having Solgrin make this quip or jab about, you humans, this and that, and talking down about humans.
He's not an emotionally stable guy, our good friend Finch.
You could tell by the way his face twitched, and I thought he was gonna sick up and die.
If Solgrin, in his angry state, was more of a talker, it would have been more like, oh, your eyes can do stuff? Mine can as well. And go completely red.
Yeah.
You know what? I really like Solgrin's voice. Like, the way that you, like, try and go for a deeper register.
Yeah.
Whereas I go the exact opposite.
Yeah, I like that.
It's funny how similar Solgrin and Trum are.
Best of friends.
Eyes go white. I don't know, I just think that's a better fit for the character. It kind of...
Well, he's large.
Well, he's big, yes.
He's large.
And he's mine.
And just his philosophy is trying to always be positive. Kind of that deep, commanding voice kind of forces you to take in my mind, at least when I try and say stuff that is encouraging to others.
It's like,
forcing you to
really means
take a different perspective of the thing that you're focused on.
And also you have to be very deliberate.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the whole idea of the voice, is not just that he's big. It's just like, oh, if he says it in a certain way, it's going to force people to take a look at it differently.
I think, like, all this conversation that we've had, one character we haven't talked about too much is Jeff's character of Kumu. And Kumu is the perfect foil for Kolohe. And we were just saying how they're both, like, main character energy and personalities.
Oh, yeah.
Well, definitely, like, at least for right now. I think we were talking about that earlier, where...
We built main characters for, especially these first few episodes.
Right, exactly.
We're the main characters for this little story arc.
Yeah.
It's all about our interactions and how...
Our history together.
Yeah, our history and how we feel about our father and the differences between that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saving my protector. She's saving her father.
Yeah. I love how you put that. I would like to say I like, even though I know you said you're not great with the quips, I like that your character kind of just takes the, I want to say takes the high road, but just ignores her. Just straight up ignores her.
Personally, I don't know how to respond to that, so I'm like,
Your face.
yeah, when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, that would really drive her nuts, so I'm gonna do that.
No, like, listen. My brother did that all the time, so I know for a fact that, like, it's going to drive Kolohe nuts. It drives me already nuts just to listen. Like, you're not, I'm just like, react.
So, I'm not gonna lie, when you started talking now, I thought you were going into a rant as Kolohe.
Nothing drives me more crazy than me saying things to get at you. I want to, like, if I'm saying things, I want a response. I'm not going to say the most nastiest things to not get a response. Come on, I came up with great quips. Get out of my face. Like,
Yeah, okay.
all in all, it really shows the balance. And I know we said a little funny quip about it earlier about how the other hatchlings eat the others. Mm-hmm. Right?
When was that? I missed it.
It was like 2 sentences.
Oh my gosh.
I think that was part of the backstory with the species is that
I think so.
they do actually eat
Yeah,
their,
it was.
like,
We talked about in
The strong eat the weak of the clutch.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Maybe that's why that one time we had that extra sibling in there, it took a bite out of somebody's tail.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because it was trying to assert its dominance,
Yep.
and it's like, psh, no.
Oh, listen. Yeah, you're here for a reason. You really are. It's going to end up in the storyline where it comes together and we realize that and we chose each other when we were born or hatched, and you're going to be like, yeah, see, we're stronger together. And it's going to be so annoying, and it's going to end the episode, and I'm going to cry.
So, like,
Kumu's gonna be like, yes!
Speaking of that, like, why don't we go ahead and roll into, like, character development? Because that's
It's a tough one for the opening session.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, in a way, everybody advances
Yeah.
their character in the opening session because you are really learning about it. I mean, obviously, Kumu and Kolohe, like, there was so much advancement in there because you got to see them butting heads, which we honestly didn't get to see a whole lot of in depth in the fiasco.
Yeah.
That's because, what's-his-face was around.
Vireo,
Right.
yeah.
Vireo.
Yeah, so, good point.
Because actually, Vireo and Kolohe kind
He
of...
was like a buffer between us a little
Yeah.
Oh, but they also kind of buddied up a lot.
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, they butted up against me a lot.
Yes.
So it was like,
you can't win.
there was no standing against it.
Yeah, so I was going to say, that was a little bit of like, whoa, this is a little bit more intense than we saw in the fiasco. But, like we talked about, it's like almost like a switch. Like, yeah, they're going to be like grinding and competing with each other, but when the chips are down, they're like, boom, let's get this done, like together, kind of thing. So
What did they say about our dad?
Yeah. So there was a lot of development there. Johnny, just as, and this is, I think still speaks more to your role playing, but just as Trum, you got to see a whole lot more of the personality of Trum. And a lot of times when we approach a situation, your character was the first one to take the lead in speaking.
Yeah. Everywhere except for the last store.
Yeah. It was like we were trying to process how to best hit the situation. You were like, I already know how to do this. Be polite.
And yeah, if I had spoken up at the beginning at Finch's, it would have gone completely different.
I'm not so sure.
I still don't think we would have gotten anywhere, but
I'm not so sure it would have gotten any different because, one, showing a little bit more of Solgrin's character, you got to see his species ability.
Oh, yeah.
Where he gets to sense the emotions when he's in that heightened state, which would have happened.
Which is exactly why Trum didn't step up to say anything when Solgrin was confronting Finch.
Although it would have been very interesting to show Finch the business card.
Yes.
Ooh.
But I had already turned it over to the police.
Yeah, and when you did that, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let him make that choice. But
Ooh. It might have been a throwdown in the store. Because I'm assuming Finch is part of that organization.
Oh, yeah.
Or some, maybe
At least affiliated.
You're right.
somehow.
Or he knows what that organization is going on and
And he
doesn't want to
might
tell
be
you.
scared.
So when
Could be,
you
yeah.
were describing all the art pieces, I was kind of hoping you'd be like, and one with a subtle shade of a hook in between the stars. And I was going to be like...
I did actually reference that with the...
You referenced it with the whirlpool, but you didn't say anything about the hook itself.
So I envisioned that scene, the start of the store scene, being very comical, since it was Solgrin that walked in first, like bull in a china shop kind of thing. Like, you see all these counters, you see all these displays, and you see like this towering 8-foot tall just standing there and not wanting to move because there's all these breakable things around him. He's like, ugh.
You just see him like breathing shallowly so he doesn't move too much air.
And the elevator music is going on in the store, and it's just...
As far as character advancement, I would have to go with Kumu. Because one of Kumu's goals is to show that he can be the leader. And there were several times where he told his sister what they needed to do, and she followed him.
She won't remember them.
I know.
Oh, I never do. You're unmemorable.
Jeez.
Okay.
So my vote is for Kumu for character advancement.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm gonna agree.
All right,
Jeff
there
gets
you
the
go.
point.
Jeff gets
Cool.
Best role playing.
I already told you, I really appreciate what Johnny did with Trum.
Yeah.
The quips
No, clips were...
from Ellie. Oh my gosh.
Fire.
Especially the first one. Is it dark back there? You know, in my shadow? I was like, dang! That was the best
Kumu
one.
felt that to his core.
Oh
Am I
my
bleeding?
gosh. I will forever
blood.
remember that line. That was great.
Thank you.
Especially considering the build of our species package, where the brighter you are, the more leadership ready you are.
Well, and then there's also the fact that you're cold-blooded.
Yeah.
If you get in the way of the sun or a heat source, then you're literally going to freeze to death.
Slow down and basically be useless.
Yeah. There was a lot of good role playing.
Yeah.
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 I like how Ellie's like, not sorry. Not in the slightest.
I say what I mean. I mean, these first couple episodes, these opening scenes, I mean, Jeremy's character was more than just a glorified forklift, you know?
True.
He wasn't just moving things around, he was actually participating and trying to help his friends. And it's clear right from the start, these are his friends.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they say, you're gonna be his friends.
He has made a decision. You're friends.
Right, exactly. So
I have spoken.
Yes. That's precisely your character.
No, it's not. No, it's a little bit different attitude in that character.
So seeing him interact with all the different characters wherever we went was quite entertaining.
I have to say, I do love playing Solgrin. It's a definite break from characters I have played in the
The
past.
hard part for you is not being the investigator.
Right, because me as the players, like, I pick up on all these things, and I'm like, what I picked up on was we came into the casino asking about, was it 3 individuals?
Yeah.
And the casino person on the way out says, good luck finding your friend. I was like, wait, we didn't say there was one person in particular. But I was like, Solgrin would be just like, whatever.
Yeah.
See, if this was Elements of War, Julian would have been like, all right, stop, turn around.
What did you mean?
And been there for another hour grilling that person.
Explain.
No, this one's hard. I mean, like I said earlier, we are so great at role playing because we just, that's who we are as a group. It's not about the technical rules of the game for us.
Yeah, it's
or
about
anything
the
like
story.
that.
It's about the story, the personal interaction.
Yeah. We use role playing as a way to become a different person.
And also think about the world in a different way.
Oh, yeah. I think that authors go through that a lot when they're coming up with their different characters in their stories. They're like, how would this person view the world? Yeah. And then they have to write their character from that perspective. And we do that with our role-playing. My vote is for role-playing is either Jeremy or Johnny.
Mine is either Johnny or Ellie. I keep waffling back and forth between the two.
I would have to either vote for Jeremy or myself. I mean, I hate voting for myself. So
Johnny or Jeremy.
So, sounds like Johnny.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say since Johnny's in the running for most everybody, so yeah. It was great performance.
I have 2 character points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how many did we get?
Since we didn't go as far as I thought we would tonight, everybody gets 5.
Okay.
Ooh, I have 7 character points.
And then best snack.
Food. My vote is for Jeff's.
Jeff.
So, for snacks, we had Jeff brought a rosemary chicken cheesecake with a garlic caramel drizzle.
Just describing it does not do it justice. No. Because when you describe it with all of those descriptors, you're just like, huh. And you got this puzzled look on it. Everybody had that puzzled look on their face when they walked in and heard the description.
Yeah, Ellie was like, I'm not going near that.
Then I thought about it and I was like, wait a second, that sounds actually pretty good. And then I took a bite and cried.
He did. He took a bite and was like, Jeff, I need to hug you.
Jeremy brought bacon-wrapped pineapple with a mango chipotle.
Mango habanero. Barbecue glaze.
So
which, that's my personal vote.
Oh my gosh, those things were good. They were like little pieces of excellent bacon-covered candy.
Yeah.
Jordan made a taco dip casserole.
Which is that was
nacho
very
casserole. That was good.
That's one of my standard quick go-to. I need a quick meal for meal prep. This will sit well in the fridge. It's a really good thing. And I typically put in some ground beef so that it's higher in protein, but it's supposed to be a vegetarian dish.
Mm-hmm.
Because, nachos work pretty well with meat, without meat. It's pretty...
Quite versatile, as long as there's cheese.
That's what I was about to say. Nachos are just a delivery system for cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
I made cinnamon yeast rolls with caramel.
Those are good.
They were tasty. They got a little overcooked, so a little dry.
Yeah. So good.
And I made a trip to the store.
Ellie brought
Takis
and
Oreos.
Yes, toffee Oreos.
Yeah, they were really good. I love toffee.
Those are good.
But yes, I vote for the pineapple.
I vote for the chicken cheesecake.
Chicken cheesecake.
I loved that pineapple, but chicken
Oreos.
cheesecake.
So, sounds like chicken cheesecake wins.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
I think it was that garlic honey drizzle that pushed it over the edge for me. Because I would be chewing and then I'd get a random burst of that flavor and I'm like,
It was very good.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for a fantastic session. And for the audience out there, thank you very much for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. Our cast is Aaron, Ellie, Jeff, Jeremy, Johnny, and Jordan. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is bonethrowerstheater. You can also look us up on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.